Hi, come on in. This is the Cosmic Watch. I'm your host, Franklin. I'll be your astrologer for the next hour as we answer cosmic questions about, well, let's start with today. Today was September the 2nd of 2022. That that date adds up to the number 17. And if you put those numbers together, 1 plus 7 equals 8. And if you are born today, your birth number is 8. The um, the most prosperous, money wise, of all birth numbers. The 178 attracts money without even knowing that they're doing it. They bring money to themselves when they believe in themselves, when they begin to notice the signs and omens that their guides give them, and they have enough faith in those signs to follow the directives that they're getting from their guides. And when this happens, when they have enough self confidence to believe in their own spiritual connection, their own blessedness, then, oh, the money just falls out of the sky into their lap. The sun sign for those born today is Virgo, and the moon sign is Sagittarius. The Sagittarius moon means that the emotional, the inside of those born today, is going to be a truth seeker. That's what Sagittarius is all about. They shoot their arrows and they find out the truth. And this truth that this soul is here to find out is how blessed they truly are, how much they are loved by the universe, and how much they can depend upon that blessing, that they can actually have the self confidence to really connect with the spirit world, to have a two-way conversation with the spirit world. These guides that are sending you omens and signs that you have to interpret. Uh, Everything that happens in your life, everybody that comes into your life, is an omen. There's a purpose. It's up to you to understand that purpose and to be able to enjoy the living, enjoy the everyday part of getting out there and living your life and seeing not only the signs and omens that come from the spirit world, but also the body language that comes from the other humans around you. To care enough about other people to trust that you're getting messages from them too, and to be able to share your abundance. Now, this is the thing about the 178. If you have a child born today, this is the advice that you're going to give them sooner or later, is that in order to really enjoy this abundance that will come to them, they have to share it. That's the greatest joy of having anything, is to be able to share it with another human being. So, first of all, the 178 has to believe that they earned whatever comes to them. This is why you'll find these people sometimes self-sabotaging, trying to actually block the good things that are coming to them. It's what they're in this life to learn. What there is to be able to enjoy the abundance because you do share it, and you have earned it because you trusted your feelings, and you trusted the omens and the signs that your guides were giving to you. It's that faith that that attracts the good things, the money into your life. So these people, these 178s, today's birthday people, they, if there's one thing that they really have to understand about themselves, is that they have to do more for the world than the world does for them. These people that are going to receive all this abundance through no fault of their own, they have to understand that they have to do more in return so they'll feel like they earned it, so they can bless themselves. And by doing this, they turn into a wonderful citizen of the world, because they are able to give, and to through giving, they're able to receive. They they have a purpose in receiving. They're going to share it with others, and let it move around the world. Let it accelerate as it shows good karma going all around the entire world. And it's it's really finding your purpose. Every one of us have every house of the zodiac within us. So at some different times of the year, different times of the day, you get these same these same things will come to you, because you have all that inside of you. Humans were created by the thought of God. The illusion that is the material world that we see is the dream state that humans are meant to awaken from. The fallen, earthbound angels can only rejoin the heavenly angels when every human soul has learned from them that pride or ego is what led to their splitting away from each other. This could only have happened if it were the will of God that humans be given this teaching. Angels began perfect, so they could not improve. They had nowhere to go but down to earth. Humans began totally imperfect and have nowhere to go but up to their enlightenment. Some angels saw that reincarnations would eventually make humans perfect by allowing them to live out every possibility from both sides and to learn every lesson that was known by God. Their fear was that this would place humans closer to God than the angels, because God asked humans for change above all else. And humans have endless possibilities for changing, and by changing, to heal the bad karma within each other, to be with each other, to heal each other. That's why we're here. Mayu is checking in and saying hello, and good to have you along with us. Mayu, what what is that is with you tonight? You seem to be trying to make a decision, because your time has run out, and you have some sort of a decision you have to make, but you don't have all the information yet. You don't really understand what this decision is going to go. And Mayu says, feeling a bit down, actually ran out of time. Yes, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here under the that if you'll notice, the quarter moon is what's rising tonight. We are under this quarter moon, and that's transitions. Mayu says, "God, oh boy, condition, trying to diagnose the stomach condition. Boy, the So the condition that you are trying, uh, so buy too fast food. Well, exactly. This is showing you that it is your insides, indeed, that are causing the problems. What you're putting in. So, uh, boy, it's that's a bad diagnosis, isn't it? To stop eating spicy food. It's diet is such a huge part, and it's once you understand why you eat what you eat, why you eat as much as you eat, why you eat as little as you eat, it's very much connected with the way your life is going in that particular day, because your insides are so greatly affected by what goes on in your mind. What you see in your eyes affects your core, that solar plexus where all your nerves come together. That's right at the stomach, and that's why you feel such uneasiness when things are not going well. And of course, the things never go perfectly, do they? That's not the way that life is supposed to be. Mayo says, I would like an advice. This this has really got me down. Yeah, the the mm, the thing to remember. How Maya wants to know, how should I react to this situation? Well, see, what I'm seeing is that the doctors working, the workmen who are working on you, have have this figured out. So you really need to follow whatever advice they give you, and know that it is the right thing for you. And there there is a medicine that can do the job. See, this is the doctors working. This is them coming up with a solution. So not only are they telling you what you need to do to avoid this happening again, there is a medication that you're going to be able to eat much better, eat much easier along with this medication. So it's good news. It is. This all flared up to show you that something was wrong, and the this is why doctors are in business, right? Because we are led in so many bad directions. Mayu says that is uplifting, and that's the best thing you can do for yourself. But when you think about the all of the money that we spend on food, as if it were the as if it were a competition, as if that we make food the main object of our life. I mean, when you look at the big sit down meals that people have in restaurants, it's it's such a cost factor that things will change. You know, it's the only way to keep everybody eating, and to keep us going through that system of uh, using whatever is here on Earth, using what we have, rather than trying to keep up with the Joneses by eating what they eat. And this is one of the bigger problems of people today, is that they are so affected by advertising, by when you see a can of a certain soda, you think about Santa Claus. Now, that is great advertising. You know, that's that's the sort of thing that takes the best part of 100 years, spending billions of dollars. And this is how you are affected, how I am affected. It's impossible not to be. I mean, you drive down the street and you see billboards for food, restaurants, and what you're missing out on. And of course, that's the big human condition, is that we all want whatever we feel like we've been denied, whatever we feel like we're missing out on. That becomes a necessity for us as we live our life. Maya says, I think you are right. Maybe I should make food a less important part of my life. Think about every sci-fi writer, every sci-fi book or movie that deals with the future. They don't have those big sit-down meals, do that's not a part that anybody has ever seen of the future. It is kind of comforting, though. I remember my father loving cooking and eating with the family. Now, see, now you're getting to the real reasons that you eat. It's the memories, and when we talk about Santa Claus selling soda, it's the memories that you're buying there. It's the fact that you see everybody else in the world enjoying that soda, and they look so happy every time you see them drinking that soda. That's that is a way of overriding logic with emotion, living through your heart. When you are affected by advertising, when Mother's Day advertising, oh, don't they deliver some low blows? Can you remember years ago there was an ad of the great football coach Bear Bryant doing a telephone commercial during a game. Um, and he was it was Mother's Day, and he was saying how he always advised every one of his boys to get out there and call their mother on Mother's Day. And then he ended by saying, "Boy, I wish I could." And that had to be the most effective commercial of the year. It was. It hit everybody right in the pocketbook. Go call your mother. Go spend some money, because in those days every phone call was a long distance phone call. You couldn't call the next county without making a long distance phone call. Mayu says, "Low blow." That's intense. Well, that's what advertising is supposed to do. It's supposed to grab you and push you in a lot of different directions. And when you think about the advertising that goes on between men and women, this war between men and women that supposedly goes on, that you see in media so often, and a it's not true at all. It is made by those who want to sell you their products, to attract the other sex, to uh, whatever they're trying to get you to do. Uh, then they guarantee, of course, that if you drive this or wear this or eat this, that you're going to have success. And that could be used in so many different ways. If we believed that getting old was a really great thing, all we have to do is believe it, and we change the outlook, change the physical condition of every elderly person, because we change it from the beginning when they're still children, right? You'd have to you'd have to retrain from from children. But it's not that hard to convince children that they should have respect for older people, and that you're not going to get older, you're going to get better. Your life is going to get better. And if we truly believe this, we'd be able to make ourselves into very happy people. And being happy is what the the whole thing is about. That's why you're here. See, the what we were talking about there a moment ago, of God asking for change from humans. You see, in your life, it really doesn't matter how high you rise. It only matters how much you change from where you started to where you end up. So it's those who refuse to change, who are rigid and will not let change into their life, that that have all the problems. When you go with the flow, you're in much better shape. And Maya, the the problem that you're having there is is really you. Boy, I hate to say it's one of your parents, but it probably is. It's you taking on being able to show the world where they were wrong. You could never tell your parents they were wrong. Of course not. No, nobody can. It'd be the hardest thing in the world to do. And you needed to you needed to speak up then. And now you're having these problems, which must be the same problems that they had, because you need to experience the symptoms so you can show the world, so you can heal everyone. This is why you're having these stomach problems. You brought this on. You purposely ate the right food to make it happen. And it's something that now, once you can understand that this is why it came into your life, that you can really you can deal with it. You can take it or leave it, because now you understand why it was going on. And this is to be able to express what's in your heart, right? The buildup in your stomach is because you have blockage, a blockage of energy that you're not releasing. It's a very cathartic thing to be able to release all that needs releasing. And at the end of your meditation each day, just think about a like a U-shaped magnet starting at your head and coming all the way down to your feet, as you say, and release all that needs releasing, all the baggage, all of the wanting to get revenge on other people. Would it be great if we could remove that from the earth? But by removing what needs to be removed, what you're going to do is knock out the last few days worth of problems and cares and woes. And Mayu says, I get my catharsis from playing on Doom. All right. Yes. Hey, I was the owner of one of the original Pac-Man machines. Yeah, 1982, or was it 81? Um, and did I? The Pac-Man was was also a record that they put out at the time, and I was working at the radio station. I pulled out this record, and on the inside the liner cover, they have a pattern, the pattern, which is just, oh, it's insane. I mean, you are slightly missed a dozen times, but you get it all. And once you learn this pattern, you can, we go to all keys, right? You go up to the ninth key where things turn very bad on you. You start going slow and they go very fast, but you can take it to the ultimate. But well, I agree with you there. There's such solace in that connecting with the machine to to sit there for a half hour, which that was about as long as I ever played on a Pac-Man. But the people I see today gaming, wow, we after Pac-Man, they actually started building the arcades all around the country. I mean, Pac-Man is what was built all of those arcades, and it all came out of a little company up in Chicago, uh, Atari, right? And they, whew, man, I guess they're still making those machines up there now. Mayu says, I love Pac-Man. I used to play it a lot with my mother. Pac-Man is a two-player game. That's right. Until you get so good that the other player never gets to play. I was in I was at a game room at lunchtime one day, working hard, and there was only one Pac-Man machine, and I've got my quarter out, and I'm walking up to it, and a lady comes walking the other way with her quarter out, and we both get there, and we okay, we'll she outfoxes me. See, she says, "Okay, we'll play two-player, but I go first." Right? And I got to learn a whole new pattern from her by watching her because I never got to play. But to get involved with the lights, oh man, they make a really nice remake with neon lights on the maze, and it got really. Oh man, uh, the Ms. Pac-Man never really lived up to the original Pac-Man. I had um, several machines at one time that were out in different locations, and the people who played Pac-Man most at the very beginning were policemen. Something about the sirens and the flashing lights, and they couldn't break away from it until until we brought in the poker machines. And poker machines really replaced video machines. And you can't beat a poker machine. Yeah, that's the thing about any sort of gambling. The house has got you 80% to 20%, and they're going to enforce that because they're in business to make money. So the Pac-Man craze started something. I mean, I can remember the original little game machines for home that had like jumping over crocodiles and just uh, Frogger. That was it. Frogger was in the original. Crazy Coolios says hello. Crazy Coolios. Ah, what 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 Coolios? What path are you beginning? What new path are you trying to walk tonight? Mayu says Pitfall was one. Oh yes, hey, I played Pitfall right there in the living room. Boy, I had one of the very first VCRs that ever came out. It was a huge box with all sorts of little dials up on the top of it. Oh, Pitfall was the one that you ought to be jumping over the crocs. Yes, you're exactly right. You swing a little rope and jump over the crocodiles. And things from there to where we are now, the real difference is the violence and the teaching of violence. Just if you think those game machines don't teach you, well, it's it is the curse and the blessing of media, of video to begin with. It's the greatest teaching tool there's ever been, and most people call it a wasteland. 500 channels and nothing's on. There was such potential in television, and they let it all go to the commercial end. For every commercial you've ever seen, there's very possibly was a subliminal commercial playing to you in the background. That's how deeply commercials have researched exactly how to sell products. The whole idea behind advertising is that you need to know what people are going to buy next year, next month. So you try and influence them. Of course you do. And if you're going to influence them, why not influence them to buy your product, right? So it's the way that media could be used to teach would probably be the end of public schools. Why go to all these dangerous places when you could learn at home? And if it were done right, it would be the greatest teachers. The greatest teachers would be on the videos, right? You'd have nothing but great teachers. And the way they've tried to do it during the pandemic almost ensured failure. It never really got behind it. So some of that is jumping over crocks, right? And back in the day of Pitfall. And then when it got to be so many shooting games, I think this is why it became so easy for people to become shooters. It's what we learn as we go along. You see, there's always been this. Mahu says actually had a good time teaching over Zoom during the pandemic. It's the medium is there if you have the audience. If your students are tuned into you, it's a wonderful thing. A bit lacking because I prefer being in the classroom. Yeah, the but it was efficient. There's no better way to memorize things, and geez, that's all they do in school these days is memorize these facts and take this test, and now you're smart, right? It's incredible how the lawmakers have gotten into the education business to give themselves something to do. Most politicians spend their time trying to give themselves an excuse for being there. They create laws to give themselves something to do. Uh, by changing, this is what humans are here to do. By changing not only themselves, but changing everyone around them. Think how you are affected by all the other humans in your life. And how just stepping around them makes you take a different path, makes you act differently. So the possibilities of people being able to change is why we can rise to the height of any human has ever risen to. You, no matter who you are, if you're a human, you have within you the capability to be as good as any human that's ever been on this earth, and the capability to be as bad as anybody who's ever been on this earth due to circumstances. See, that's where environment comes in, not heredity. The circumstances beyond our control mold us as much as our parents ever did. And there's not a thing you can do but react. So the way you prepare your children is he saying hi? Is he? Uh, what's going on? What's going on out at your house today? Is he? I see there's you need to express yourself. Someone needs to express themselves and say what's on their mind. Is he? Is that you? Do you have something to let us know tonight? Well, it's 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 been a good night. We're chilling, just chilling, says Izzy. Okay, well that's exactly it. Okay, okay. So you are nurturing yourself, and that is one of the great keys of life. There you are, nurturing yourself, just chilling out, and this is the best thing that you could possibly do for yourself right now. It's it's exactly what you need, what your body is asking for, and your mind is open tonight. It's this is a good place to be. There's we were talking earlier about the angels. You know, there's angels, and then there's angels because there are fallen angels. The angels came before humans, but before humans were even conceived of, the angels had already been here and long enough to have their falling out because some wanted to be closer to God and cast to earth, and they're earthbound, and they have the same mandate as the heavenly angels, and that's to help each human on this earth achieve their enlightenment. The fallen angels don't have to play by the rules. They have the same mandate, but they can use any means possible to maneuver you, to manipulate you. And this is why so many people feel like they have to do the wrong thing, being told by their guides. And it is for their own good, right, to get them enlightened. But the misunderstanding of God's intentions caused anger and brought jealousy into the world between the angels. And that led to the concept of punishment and returning evil for evil. And this is how the angels discovered that they and humans both have free will. The concepts of jealousy and of one human punishing another both claim that one soul knows better than another because one soul is better than another. That's the original misunderstanding. And it's the prison that keeps human souls and the fallen angels trapped here on earth. The fallen angels are not being punished. They're creating their own therapy that will lead to their spiritual healing through the healing enlightenment they give humans by bringing and then curing what we see as suffering and misfortune. The, the thing that humans call temptation is the angel's method of manipulating how a human uses their free will. These free will decisions by humans come because they become their karmic paths. The decisions of all humans are changed by the whisperers who put fears into human minds to push them in particular directions so they can learn particular karmic lessons. Everything that comes to you comes to teach you something. Uh, it, and that includes uh, especially the people that get in your way, the people that change your path. The, you have to realize that you're getting in their way too. And maybe it wasn't really their idea. So you have to have some compassion for other people, instead of always trying to get to the front of the line, pushing other people out of the way. If if you have feeling for what other people are going through, then you truly have enough feeling to be able to contact the spirit world. This is how you learn how to do it, is by connecting with other people. And when you do that, you learn how to connect with the spirit world and how they want to come to you and be useful, to be a part of your life so they can experience your emotions. That's why most of your guides are there. You also have your inner child. And that's the guide that's been with you since you were a child, since you were cognizant. And it is the one that uh, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross says comes back in the last few days of every life and it is there to guide you. Izzy says, so someone told me to let our guides to have the permission to enter your life. Ah, you that that is you either using or not using their advice. You don't always go along with everything that you hear, and so giving them permission to enter your life is really thanking them for their guidance by using it. That's the only way that you can really influence them. That's the only thing they understand is that you're going to you're going to use their advice. And again, that's the guides that come to you during your life, who you really don't know who they are. They never make it clear to you who they are. And it's not very often that it's really a relative. It's more like people who see what your life is and want to experience the emotions that you're experiencing. And this is why those guides will lead you to emotional encounters with other people and put you in the right place at the right time to um, meet other people, to experience other people, to feel that that emotion, whether it's love or hate, right? It's emotion, and this is what those guides are there for. So you also have this inner child that's with you really forever, and they help you make very emotional decisions. That's the one when you talk to your guides, it's that inner child that you're talking to, and it's just that it's you in your essence as that unspoiled little child, and that you retain that your entire life. That will come back to you as a guide in the end of your life to help you find the doorway, help you transition, help you um, get to where you're going to next. And that's something that nobody's come back from to let us know about. It's something we can only think about, surmise, and see see the results, and then try to go backwards from there. But we all come back to where we began. You came into this world from the spirit world, and you'll go back to the spirit world. Your soul does not die. This is why human revenge over humans dying has always been a mistake. Always, always. The humans are so much alike. Humans of 10,000 years ago, uh, if they knew the language, could sit down and talk to you. Yeah, they'd be talking about things you understood. This is why astrology still works. The astrology that was put together by the Babylonians back before they had calendars, this is really the same thing that came down to the Greeks and through India and back up into through Tibet. That's that's a very interesting thing about the Chinese. Did you know that Confucius was not Chinese? He was Tibetan. Most of what we know today as mainland China at one time was Tibet. And because the Dalai Lama was so powerful a force with those people, revolution forced them up into the Himalayan mountains in one little spot where they are now. And so even the old fellow who wrote the Tao Te Ching was not Chinese. He was Tibetan. And the Tibetan people are some of the most holy, the most blessed of all the souls on earth. And because they are nonviolent, they've been shut up into the Himalaya mountains where no one else wants to go. And they make it work. They make it a holy place. The Dalai Lama was thrown out of exile from his own country because he was thought to be too powerful and was reaching too many people. So they brought him to Europe, right, where he's learned English and he can communicate with the world. It's such a powerful thing to hear that a person who was taken to the monastery at the age of 3 and declared to be his country's spiritual leader at the age of 5, and was able to understand who he was at such a young age, and to be able to be as generous as any soul on this earth. The Dalai Lama will tell you that his prayers are not perfect. He still sees the faces of those people who exiled him. He cannot forgive them. He and yet he is the Dalai Lama. That tells us our forgiveness does not have to be perfect. You don't have to completely forgive and everybody and everything. But if you'll work at it, if you'll have some change in your level of your life, that's all God wants, is to see you grow, see you change, see you get towards your enlightenment. I don't believe anybody's going to God until we all go together, until each soul is enlightened. That's why we're here, trying to help each other, trying our best to be like water and go down and nurture the lowest spot first. Water is the softest thing on earth, but given enough time, it can dissolve rock, the hardest thing. And then when you, Izzy is saying So someone told me to let our guides have permission. Oh, okay. I thought there was a new one there. Is he permission to enter your life? That's a very interesting thing. Um, to give your guides permission is really to thank them by using their their ideas, by not letting anger be the first thing that comes into your life, by getting past that. All you have to do is get over it, right? It usually anger hits us because we're surprised, we're fearful, we we've been made to be fearful about something. If you'll just get past that moment, then you have a chance to really change things instead of making things worse. And the worst thing you can possibly do is curse at it. When you curse whatever you dropped, you're making a bad situation worse. There is great power within your voice to your mind, maybe to nobody else, but to you, that voice you have is all truth. It's believable. It's what you want to allow into your life. So when you believe in yourself, that's when anything is possible. Anything is doable. So to all of our chime in tonight in the chat room, I thank you so much for being here tonight. This is it's been a real good get together. Next week we'll be talking about the full moon that's about to blow in here. So you can bet that people will be very much more intense in whatever they're doing. The full moon brings out such a high tide within human beings, and when the moon is in your particular sign, and you get those full moons or new moons that are just sitting right on top of you, you are doubly influenced because you completely understand what it is you're about to do. And so there's that to look forward to as we come up the next week. What about the Saturn disturbance? This is going to go on for several more weeks. The retrograde of Saturn, it being Saturn, it's all about your fate, your destiny, your what you're meant to be doing has been on hold for about 3 months now, and we will finally come off of this in October. So things in whatever is most important in your life, it's going to break loose here in just a few more weeks. Things will finally get back to normal. This retrograde of Saturn is a long one, and it just makes you repeat and repeat and repeat. So we're going to come out of it, and whatever we were supposed to have learned in this, hopefully we learned it, and we won't have to do it again for a long time. The the retrograde of Saturn was so much different than retrograde of Mercury. It just wasn't about everyday stuff. It was about the really deep seated things in your life, and things that you needed to do something about and were not able to. It's been it's been a very frustrating time for everyone. There are things that you needed to do that you promised you were going to get done, and the universe just won't let you do it. It just closes the door every time. You get stuck on hold, and then they hang up on you. It's been that sort of a situation for everybody all this summer. So the thing to do is to hang on tight, because it's almost over. We're likely to see one more recycle of what we've been going through. But I think in the next week's time, if we look at the next 7 days, patience, right? Patience is what it's all about. If you have patience, then temperance. You don't get too high, too low, and you stay on the middle path. So this is all of us in the coming week. 1477. Oh, and the 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on earth. This is the imbalance that's going on right now. You can't go either way. You're not getting her in the water, and you're not getting on the earth, and you're just stuck right there. So that's what's been happening, and is going to end here in a few more weeks. So have patience, and patience is a learned virtue. It's not something you're born with. Nobody was. But if you believe in yourself and your connection to God, patience is a learned art. It truly is. So till next time, same place, same station. I'm Franklin, and I really appreciate you being here. I love you.